Well, say it ain't so. Canelo Alvarez has officially flopped. The face of boxing. Sources, you see it right there. Canelo Triple G3 generates a disappointing 550 to 575,000 pay-per-view buys. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant, you see that right there. That was a fight Showtime had, did an amazing job of promoting it, unlike DAZN, and that fight drew over 800,000, putting Canelo closer to the million mark. Now, the big difference here is Caleb Plant didn't get the purse that Triple G got. So what do I mean by that? I know a lot of people scratching their head. Boom. This article says DAZN needed far more than 600,000 buys just to break even because of a $75 million combined guarantee. So the guarantee purse for this fight between Canelo and Triple G was outrageous. $75 million. This is not the undercard. This doesn't incorporate, any other type of fees. This is just to pay Canelo and Golovkin. So DAZN, they're overpaying Canelo, overpaying Golovkin for what they're producing. This has to be considered a major flop and a failure. And it's ironic when Floyd Mayweather, easy work, I ain't got to worry, hard work, dedication. When hard work, dedication, Money Mayweather had his final fight. I think it was a 6-fight deal on Showtime. He had his final fight, and it was with Berto. It did 550,000 on Showtime. The same deadline writers said this was an egregious loss and is a failure, and they questioned PBC. And they questioned Al Heyman, saying, "Oh, is Al Heyman spending the money to right?" and all this stuff. Not to mention, this was in 2015, the same year that Floyd broke all records ever fighting Pacquiao. So people failed. See, on my channel, I like to fill in the blanks, and I don't want to leave people a mystery. If you're going to say a story, you gotta go through the whole story. Floyd fought Pacquiao and did astronomically for Showtime, and it's the number one highest grossing fight of all time, including all Mike Tyson fights, Lennox Lewis, and whoever else, Canelo, anybody else, right? The Berto fight, Showtime was already winning in 2015 because they made so much money with the Floyd fight and the Pacquiao fight, right? So the Berto was just kind of an extra fight. It's a farewell ride off into the sunset. You completed your deal. Al Heyman probably wanted to reward Berto because he was like one of the first people that Al Heyman had signed that was really popping. You know what I mean? But anyway, back. I don't want to get too distracted. Basically, what I'm saying is the Berto fight, people said it was a critical success. But Canelo, they just paid $75 million for Canelo and Golovkin. And here's the thing. It was the worst fight of the trilogy, as I predicted. So I can't really tell another person how to spend their money, but I can tell when you blowing money. I can tell when you hemorrhaging money. And it would be one thing if people weren't left with the sour taste in their mouth and they really loved and enjoyed Canelo versus Golovkin, part 3. That would maybe be something, because even if you blew a lot of money, you put up a legendary fight. This was a hard fight to watch. There were several people I know that watched the fight. They said they were falling asleep in the fight. And some people was like, "Oh, I knew better than to order the fight because I knew it was going to be some BS." And some people saying, "Hey, I blacked out the fight." So that can't be money well spent if you spent 75 milli on Canelo Golovkin, and Golovkin threw nothing other than a jab for the first 8 rounds. And then Canelo started getting tired. So it's apparent to me that DAZN's leadership, they do not know what they're doing in boxing. And if they continue with such a non-sustainable product, it's not going to last much longer. Len Blavnik or whoever is going to have to pull the plug. And this is ironic because this is what Eddie Hearn said DAZN was going to do to Showtime. He said Showtime would be out of business in a year's time, and people above Steven Espinoza would have to cancel Showtime boxing. But ironically enough, people are saying that Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia could actually fight. People are also saying that Crawford and Errol Spence possibly could land on Showtime. So looks like Showtime's in good shape. Meanwhile, Canelo keeps dwindling. All his numbers and the interests are dwindling. And I know a lot of the haters, they're not going to like what I'm saying, all the Canelo Man fans, but the truth is the truth. Every Golovkin fight for Canelo has done worse than the previous. So Canelo Golovkin 1 it did about 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. Canelo versus Golovkin Part 2 did 1.1. So there was a drop-off, right? There was some drop-off. Now they're saying from 1.1 million in the second fight, they're saying it did 550K to 575. But the difference being is they're paying this exorbitant amount, 75 mil, and it's the least entertaining of the 3 fights. So HBO, whatever the fighters got for that particular fight, likely wasn't 75 mil, and they were better fights. So how is that a good business move? That's my question to you. If HBO put a pay-per-view and it sold more pay-per-views and they paid the fighters less than 75 million collectively, then HBO Boxing knows what they're doing and they have a sustainable product. The only reason they got out is because a lot of the like Al Heyman, all his fighters left HBO, right? But HBO did 1.3 and 1.1 million. DAZN's first outing, they waited too long because they couldn't get Canelo to fight Triple G when he was with Golden Boy and Golden Boy and DAZN. And they waited. People lost interest. People fell out of love with the rivalry. It wasn't like an everlasting rivalry like Juan Manuel Marquez and Manny Pacquiao, where they could have fought a 5th time and people would have paid for that fight. This fight, based on how Triple G had been looking, there was a shelf life, and it shows that it was past that expiration date. So this is horrible. This is horrible for Canelo. He's supposed to be #1 pound for pound. He's supposed to be the face of boxing, but he keeps slipping and dipping. People probably lost interest too because he lost to Bivol, and that probably knocked some people off. Boxing's a cruel sport, and when you're winning, you're winning. Some people be on the bandwagon, and then he lost to Bivol in that fashion. Plus, he drudged up some old rivalry that people weren't really checking for anymore, and they knew Triple G was not the same. New weight class for Triple G. He's 40 years old. I think collectively, it just wasn't the next move that needed to happen, because Caleb Plant only had 21 fights, and they did better numbers on Showtime in that fight. And that leads me to this point. Canelo, he got an offer from PBC and Showtime for either a single fight deal or a multi-fight deal where he could have had the pick of the litter and fought Errol Spence Jr. at a catchweight. He could have fought Jermall Charlo, and he could have fought David Benavidez, and he elected to go to DAZN, and he's just burning their money. He's just burning their money and continuing to flop and not make the business make sense. So I can't wait. I know I'm not saying anything wrong, so I cannot wait to see how long this will last, this whole gimmick and charade, because I know business and I know boxing. And between the two of those, this is not a sustainable product. It's not making sense. Business needs to make sense. You're not supposed to do financially worse fight upon fight. Like, especially if someone's supposed to be a superstar, usually it crescendos and gets bigger and bigger for you. Like, that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? So maybe Canelo star power has burnt out and people are tired of the moves. Because I really feel if you fought David Benavidez, the numbers would be great. If you fought Jermall Charlo, the numbers would be great on Showtime. But he's chosen his side. These are the numbers. Flop. Holla. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, Gym or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work.